So he has a lot of birthday stuff. Always has. I have been unsuccessful for 20 years. And so 2 years ago, I was pulling out all the stops. Like I had planned this huge weekend. I was trying so hard, but in my focus on the weekend, I had been not attentive during that week leading up to it. And he kept saying to me, basically, you're barking up the wrong tree. And I wasn't listening and I wasn't getting it. And I was like, oh, just shh. Like, I gotta just wait till the weekend. Just wait till the weekend. And he said, cancel everything. I'm not going with you. I don't want anything. I don't want this. And by the way, where's my passport? And he went to Italy.
I don't have complicated needs. I am utterly transparent and completely communicative about what it is I want. I'm also totally consistent. I am the easiest person to deal with.
Says you.
Says me.
Well, say it. What are your wishes?
All I want is, see, I'm trying to think of how to say it so it doesn't sound terrible.
Why say it terrible?
So what I want is to have zero responsibility, to have all the sex I want without any work on my part of any kind. Like zero work, zero thinking about it, and it has to be both spectacular and enthusiastic and genuine. So that.
But you want the birthday experience to be like that?
Like with the birthday, for example.
Yeah. So what
She
happened
was putting in
for
all
you?
this,
What happened?
all this effort, but the things she was doing is the things that she could only imagine I would want if she never was paying attention.
For example?
For example, it was going to be a costume calendar, and then it was a dominatrix, and then it was like, she had like, it was probably like a threesome. It was like stuff.
Sexual events?
Yes, all
That you
yes.
knew, but you knew about it. It wasn't a surprise.
No.
It wasn't a complete surprise. Part of it, she was so enthusiastic about it, she couldn't keep it to herself.
Okay.
I was just
You
like,
heard these potential exciting events as...
I didn't hear them as anything. I just simply observed that you're doing what you want to do for me instead of what I want you to do for me. And
So to get even more into the weeds, so for example, the sexual fantasies played out would be Andy's sexual fantasies and not yours?
well, not exactly.
Is that what we're saying?
No, they were sort of like her description of what mine were if you never listened to me. I mean, they're objectively...
There was some fantasy of what you want, but it's not really hitting
So
the mark.
to begin with, they all sound like fun.
Okay.
There's no problem there. They were all... There was all
If it had just been a random Saturday and not your birthday, also
see.
it may have been a little more welcome. It
I
was this
see.
pressure of
But
his
because it was a
birthday.
birthday, it felt particularly misattuned. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I mean,
every year. It's a trap.
if this is it, if this is like the big hurrah, this is what I've been 25 years of being Mr. Amazing was like waiting, this was it, then like no thanks. I'm just not interested.
You became angry.
I don't think angry, I think I'm disappointed. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what I could do differently.
You don't know what you're doing wrong.
Yes. So imagine that I want her to do something differently, right? I could get her to do whatever I want. That's not what I want. What I want is for her to do whatever I want without me having to make it happen. To just, I want to get a glass of water before I ask, and it's there waiting.
Up until very recently, if he were to sort of tell you the story of our intimate life, he would say that we're totally incompatible, and that we
That you were
have
sexually incompatible?
Yes, that we're sexually incompatible, especially in terms of appetite. And
What's the incompatibility?
well, like I never wanted, he always wants it.
I view sex in a lot of ways. I see it like eating and like sleeping. I have to do it every day. So the idea that like you had sex yesterday is sort of like saying you ate yesterday. I appreciate that. I'm glad I ate yesterday, but today's today. But I didn't approach her like this, like, hey, it's scheduled. Like, none of that.
Yeah, you did.
Wait, I want to get to the essence.
I really didn't.
Okay.
And I don't even view it that way. The way I think about it is that actually just makes great sense. It's what you're supposed to do. It's what my body wants to do, and I am in agreement with my body. Like we agree on this completely. I don't see how anyone can disagree with it. Like I don't even understand the idea like I don't want to. Doesn't even make sense to me. I'm like, something's clearly wrong with you.
Look, there's a big part of me that really, and has for many years, told him to fuck off and told him, like, this is impossible. You're not asking for anything, but you're asking for sex 3 times a day. What do you mean you're not asking for anything? You know, I'm a person who has to, you know. Anyway, if you had met us 10 years ago, I would have said that I thought he had a sex addiction and that I thought his relationship to sex and sexuality was disordered. I mean, that's how we ended up here and now. I thought that was like the beginning and the end of our stuff.
How do you mean?
Like if sex was good, life was good, and if sex was bad, life was bad. Not coming from me, coming from him.
You don't want to be okay with not doing it. That is not a sign of health. That's a sign of something else. And so you want to, and I want to fix that, and I want to encourage it. So, a lot of my encouragement, I'm not great at encouraging, I guess. You know, it was interpreted a very different way. But
As pressure?
I think certainly easily it's pressure, but also it could maybe even like even more than pressure could be almost viewed negatively.
And you often misinterpreted gestures as manipulation, as a sexual manipulation? That's what would
Definitely.
happen?
Yes. Pressure felt like pressure, I couldn't see it as anything else. When we sort of came to blows a couple of years ago,
Around the birthday thing?
yeah, I was just like, I don't want to be fucking held responsible for this anymore. Like, I don't want to, I don't think it's fair to him at all. And there was a lot of years where I defended myself and I defended my position and I accused him of all kinds of behavior from a very defensive place. And I do now really believe his intentions. I think you wanted to love me up all the time and be loved by me, and I downright couldn't.
The piece that really belongs here is that, like, my attraction to Annie was like biblical. I mean, it was unreal. I had a lot of relationships before you, and when I saw her, like, the world stopped. Like, everything stopped, and I was like, oh shit. Like, here's, like, you know, it's like, there's the one. That is the one. And this is gonna sound terrible.
I know.
But it's like, I want to fuck that for the rest of my life.
Do you know what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, like, she had, and still has, like this incredible emotional attachment to life. Like, just this, like, the way she interacts with the world I don't do it that way. I don't see it that way. And I get to experience it.
Capacity to emotionally attach.
Oh yeah, to emotionally attach, but
Yeah.
it's almost like she's, you know, she's just plugged in on a different wavelength that's inaccessible to me. It seemed beautiful, and it seemed something I didn't exactly know was possible. We're very different. I feel like I'm forcing everything. Now I'm holding back the tidewaters. She looks like she's walking on top of it.
I sought therapy for us because I believed that I wanted a renegotiation, and without help, he wasn't going to take my opinion with as much respect or weight as his own. I bring things to you that mean a lot to me, and you are very
Dismissive?
yeah.
Do you recognize any of this kind of...
I understand why she feels this way.
No, but do you recognize that in yourself?
I recognize why she sees that. So I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But it'd be like me, telling you what one side of this is and then thinking it's the whole side. No, I got it, yeah. If you look at it that way, that's what you're going to see. If you look at it a different way, you'll see something else.
Right. Okay. So wait, stop.
Absolutely.
So this is exactly what I was talking about. I'll say, don't say that. That's mean. And then the other side. So here's the one side is that's mean. Those are ugly words you're throwing at me, or like making me feel small. But the other side is that you can't wait to show me is what a great and supportive husband you are, and how supportive and da-da, which just makes my side irrelevant, which is your whole point of doing it.
Baby, that was a terrible example.
You are being mean to me.
I already said I understand why you feel that way.
But you don't. You
Yeah, I know I do.
absolutely
I
don't.
still do.
But if
I
you
did when I said it, and I still do. I
okay,
haven't
then
lost track
so
of it.
what part of that is on you? Like,
But
play back
what just say what part is on you?
Well, there isn't a part. Look, it can happen in certain situations, but the constant in those other situations is the way that you're approaching it.
Okay, well, that's a dynamic. That's a couple dynamic. I mean, you're saying to Annie, look, there's a part that is yours, which is the way you approach me.
what part's yours?
But and here's where I can meet you. Here's
Yeah,
my part.
Look, I'm struggling to find what that is because you're
Come
right.
on, you can.
No, I'm being sincere. When you already have it, it's not missing from your relationship.
Just say it again. Even if you're doing that effort, you can just say, here's what I'm trying to do.
Here's what I'm already successful at doing.
That's not the same thing.
I think you'll get way more traction if you say, rather than say, I've been doing it all this time, is if you say, I can try harder to not be dismissive. What triggers me is when you talk to me in this way or that way, but I still want to keep making the effort to be respectful.
Yeah, that's insulting
To whom?
to me. It's a
Bear that
ridiculous
insult.
thing to say.
Bear that insult. It'll be good for your
No,
marriage.
I won't do it, and I don't want it. If you were to give me everything I ever wanted by doing that, I'd say no. I'd rather have nothing than have that. All right.
No.
Of course. Why does that not surprise me?
Is that what you read?
You know, in thinking about the time we spent together so far, I have to say I'm still not clear on what would be something you really want to work on.
I think that makes total sense because we're not on the same page. So I know what I want.
What was that?
It's about that communication piece, that even though you're super, super supportive and the world's best husband, sometimes you're also dismissive, and where that leaves me when you're being dismissive. What do you want?
I want you to be happy.
No, what do you want out of therapy?
Babe, you have such riches of opportunity, and you use them to criticize the environment that provided those riches for you. It's like your statement that even though you're amazing, sometimes you're dismissive. How is that a problem? Like, is the goal to never be dismissive? Like 0%? You know, Annie has been threatening in one way or another to leave for a while. It's unlikely that I'm going to really dramatically change. So, you know, you just have to, like, make a decision.
But you're saying that the problem resides in Annie. If Annie just was okay with that, you'd be good.
Yes, I think, yeah, sort of, yeah.
That's, I have to say, that's unusual. If you had to tell the story of why feeling dismissed, why is that? I mean, of course, it's difficult for everyone, but your story, like what is it for you?
Well,
In a way that hopefully Mao will care about.
I've had my share of sexual trauma.
Can you say more?
I grew up in New York City. I grew up, commuting. I grew up relatively independent, much more independent probably than kids are allowed to be now. And I felt very physically vulnerable. And I was reminded of that physical vulnerability and sexual physical vulnerability all the time from 4th grade on.
What happened at 4th grade?
I was touched inappropriately multiple times. I mean, I feel like me and my girlfriend, we were flashed all the time.
So it's like constant sexual intimidation.
Constant. And then in high school, there was definitely multiple incidences of coercion. And then I was date raped, like right before we met. So it's not the most extreme, but it was constant.
Constant and awful. I just want to check with you, Mao. How do you feel about what Annie's described in terms of her history of like sexual intimidation and...
I wasn't there to protect you.
I guess this is kind of one line of reasoning why you would carry a particular sensitivity to being dismissed or stepped over or disregarded. And your immediate response was, I feel protective. How do we go from that to when Annie experiences even like something similar to that with you, you lose empathy?
To begin with, she's never had an experience with me that's similar to those experiences.
Obviously.
Right. They're
That's not true.
It is both true and untrue.
That's okay. Well, you should say.
He, in a beautiful way, wanted me to have a sexual confidence that he thought I deserved. And sometimes that looked in a way that I felt like was just perpetuating this like objectification and vulnerability, because he didn't want me just to wear like postage stamp size skirts at home. He wanted me to wear postage stamp size skirts to the grocery store or out for dinner. The farmer's market, right. And my grandmother's house. I mean...
But are you saying that you felt a certain kind of pressure?
Yes. A ton of pressure throughout our marriage that I have...
That was supposedly on your behalf?
Supposedly and supposed to be on my behalf.
But actually your experience of it was
the
that
opposite.
Okay.
So that's been insulting.
It's all internal.
Meaning
it's all on me.
That's not what I mean. I mean, you're describing your feelings.
Whatever.
Sugar, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I have a picture. I have a picture. We
wait,
were
I didn't hear. Are you disagreeing?
Yes.
Of course not.
Yes, he is. He's saying that it's all in my head.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not sure.
That's not what I'm saying, love.
I'm not sure.
Okay, what are you saying?
I'm saying there's nothing, right? I'm listening to you describe something. Right? That's what I'm doing. I mean, it's internal in the sense that the wellspring of information is coming out of you. There's not an external basis for me to have an opinion. I'm just listening to you describe your experience. That's it.
Okay. If we got way off the topic of how he feels when I feel upset, I think that this actually brings us right back there. Because we're talking about like how you make me feel and you go, that's in your head. Or not, you can't feel that way because I'm such a good husband.
I think I would like to start from a place where we give Mao a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
I'm not sure I heard it that way, and I'd like to believe, I mean, I've seen you react empathically, and I'd like to believe that you've got that in you. So
Yeah, I'm not going to help you with that. I don't need to earn anything there. I have it. If you can't see it, like, fuck you. And like, if you're not being magnanimous. Like,
I'm not being magnanimous.
I
I'm
know you're
trying to
not, and
stay
I'm
true
telling
to
you
the
you're not.
truth.
Describe anything you want, but don't ascribe motivations to me. That's just unfair to me.
Okay, I won't.
I don't think it's in your head. You didn't make it up, babe. You're telling a story about something. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
That I can say a word, and you could take that word and imagine it. I've brewed some evil concoction. Like, fuck you. Like, stop. That's the problem. And you're right. This does exemplify it, but not in the way you imagine, in the way that I imagine. You keep telling the narrative as if I can't meet you where you're at. You're not meeting me where I'm at. All the time, recognizing the distance between us is the distance that I'm not moving. It's the distance between us. If you want to close that distance, start fucking walking toward me. Stop telling me you're over there and I need to just, like, get it because you've had bad experiences. Okay, me too. So I'm happy to patiently sit here and listen to everything. And I'm
But what
empathetic.
made
I'm
you-
empathetic all the fucking time. That's not a problem. You don't have a problem of a lack of empathy in your husband. That's not what you have. You feel like you're not getting something, you're getting it, and you feel like you're not getting it. But I can only give you it, right? If you don't accept it, it isn't something else. There's not something else. There's not a magic ingredient missing. The grass is not greener. I can't do it while tap dancing. And I bent myself into a pretzel to try to figure out whatever it is that you need and then be called all sorts of fucking names in the therapist's office because I protected you. That's it. Okay?
Yes.
All right.
I just want to check your what angered you the most is the misread of you that Annie had right now?
It doesn't anger me the most. It's just the most disappointing. Like, I really still? And if you feel that way, babe, I love you. You should leave. You should not live your life in this level of consternation. And if I'm the cause of it, you shouldn't be near me. If there's something there, as horrible as it will be for me, you can't live your life this disabled.
We bend over backwards to give the other person what we think they want. Mm-hmm. We don't feel compatible. We don't want to do the same things. When we have shared interests, it's from effort. If we remove that, I don't know what we have. Knowing what we know now, if we were going to get married tomorrow, he wouldn't. I mean, he'd be an idiot too. I wouldn't.
Tell me about your fears of incompatibility.
It seems obvious that, when I met you, I was like, this is a terrible mistake. This is a mistake. It looks like a mistake, and it's a mistake I'm about to make. And I'm going into it eyes wide open.
But
okay?
now, where you are now, in your
Feel the same
long
way.
relationship.
I think that what's changed is that I thought that my sacrifice, my mind, was going to yield this result over here. And that was worth doing. All the sacrifice is worth it. And now it feels more like I actually was in your way. I was stopping you from realizing yourself in a way that would have been better for you. You would have been happier. I think you would have been,
For example, like how would Annie live differently?
I feel like she's always wanting to believe in me, but the things I say sound just a little bit too much. I don't know that I would accept someone else saying even what I say. I accept it because I'm saying it. And my expectation is that she needs to accept it because I'm saying it. And any trespass on that, I view as like a betrayal.
You said it's very, when you feel challenged, you feel like that's when you
Yeah.
react. I don't know. In my mind, it sounds like in one way, Mao, you're describing how you live, I guess, based on your background, your history, the history that you've described.
What are you doing?
Just walking around. Yes. Okay.
And the question of your, I guess, what you're calling your sensitivity to being challenged. Just that you have your way of thinking about things, and it's just very difficult for you to move from that.
He's an impossible ship to steer. And I understand that's not my job. I'm exhausted by like running to keep up, you know, that I can't just have it be a simple, can you just turn the car around? We're 2 blocks from home. I just realized I forgot my sunglasses, you know? Like, no, I can't. I also can never be the driver, so that's never up to me either. If we are together, I am on his ride. If we are
That's
together...
what you're exhausted by the
Yes.
fact that it's very hard to influence Mao when he
Yes.
goes on.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
yes, that's it exactly.
Okay.
Because it's not just
the
that
difficulty
stuff,
influencing Mao.
period.
I get it. First of all, what do you think about this way of summarizing things? What's exhausting Annie, at least, that your fixity or your rigidity is maddening to her?
I think it's maddening to her, yeah. She has a fairly narrow perspective when it comes to that.
Narrow perspective meaning she's not taking into account other things?
Yeah.
So
There's
you're
nothing
saying...
for-
But that's-
your choices in life are this. I mean, that as
Please
you can,
don't make a giant summary right now,
Okay.
please.
No giant summaries.
Because-
She's right. That's correct, and you should feel that way.
No, it's not that I should feel this way.
She
I
does feel that
shouldn't
way.
feel
She
this way.
shouldn't feel
I
this
would
way.
love to not feel this way. I do feel this way.
She does feel that way.
And you don't have to make it the story then be in defense of yourself that I have a narrow view or I have a limitation or I have a... That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Annie, I turn the car around. I take different routes. We go and don't go. I swap the thing out. I change my clothes. The thing that you're describing, you get. The thing that you can't get, which is unachievable, is you can't get it 100% of the time.
So you're
That's it.
saying that
You don't have a problem. You make sense with a dentist. And Annie, wait, well, I don't mean like an actual dentist. I mean, there's a less challenging relationship out there that you don't have to fight so hard. Like the dude's always turning around and eating chocolate cake with cinnamon. I don't know what he is, but it's not a problem, right?
So that goes back to my point of like, what's left? We're back
you're back, but you're back
today.
for today. This is our last
Yeah, this is
session.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been here 11 times. So that's almost 4 times we've ever gone to any therapist before.
No, I think what's the most we've ever gotten is like
It's 3 sessions.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that you spent at least this
Yeah.
much time with me. First of all, how are you?
Mixed, right?
How are you?
Mixed.
Mixed.
Tell me.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you tell me?
Our life is so good. There's elements that are not here. Like she won't play golf. You know, I'm like, how awesome would it be to play golf? But it's never happening, right? And I let go of it 20 years ago. I let go of it, and there's a bunch of things like that. But it really is about just having sort of more life with Annie.
More
Right.
life with Annie.
And then, so then when you look at that, I'm like, I mean, you can always find something to complain about. It just seems unnecessary. So I guess, this morning I was we had a little bit of a problem this morning, and I was getting like angry. I was even getting like mean. I wasn't saying it. It was all inside. And like, you know, part of it is I was working on the best ways to express myself.
Good.
And not in a good sense, like just like in the most efficient way of
Not good.
not good. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, just like don't. Like, you know, instead fight that sensation. Like, it's gonna pass. It always does.
Can you say something about those things that are causing you some level of discontent or want or...
It's not simpatico. We're not in the same place.
in certain domains?
Well,
No,
I
in
think,
general.
yeah, in general.
And in terms of reacting to what you said, I am touched by what you said, but I'm still kind of scratching my head because when we do get the opportunity to be together, you're uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what these life experiences you want to have with me. I mean, yes.
Because when you do go out or when you do have the chance, you're saying...
We
now
don't have fun. It's just like that feeling of just an intense incompatibility.
We are really incompatible.
So our son is 14, about to be 14. We have 4 or 5 years left on the clock of like, we need this sort of lifestyle for our son. In 5 years is the first opportunity where we get to say, like, we as individuals can go wherever we want. We can do whatever we want.
Kind, I mean, sort of.
Well, to our abilities. But I mean, we're not bound.
We're much less bound.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not. Go ahead. You know what? I don't need to do that. Go ahead.
Thanks. I don't think I want to do this after. I don't want to be married. Yes, I can see how we can be more peaceful. I can see how we can be less entangled. But I don't see how we're going to be any more compatible. I mean, you can close the door on yourself for hours, and I'm bored. I am so bored. I don't want to sit around and watch TV.
You want more Mao. You want more Annie, you want more Mao in different ways.
No, I don't want more of him. Because when I think of the things I'd want to go and be doing, he's not a good
He's not going to enjoy it the way you're hoping.
Compatriot. Like, you brought up golf,
Sure.
right?
I did bring it
Could have
up.
been tennis. Could have been Scrabble.
Could have been anything intellectual.
Ew. Seriously? I'm not coming
Because
to
you're
you
not-
with garbage. You're like, I just want to play golf and I'm Mr. like
no idea what you're
specific.
saying.
Like, why? That's what you're doing. You're flipping what I like into being illegitimate or overly indulgent. That's what you do. And you do it to me. And so you can't be there, and I understand that you can't be there, but your strategy of explaining to me why you can't be there has been to shit on it, and then the narrative is that I yuck on your yum.
Yeah, it's not. It isn't the shit on it. Go to the fucking farmer's market. I'll even go with you. This is bullshit. This
But
is
I'll
the
go
way
with you golfing too. I'll
you won't.
Yes, I
No,
will.
you
I'll
won't.
drive the cart if you let me. But you,
Annie, you're fucking delusional. It's this endless, like, scorekeeping that you do that is, I don't feel bad for myself. That's not who you misunderstand.
But why do you think Annie's doing the scorekeeping?
Well,
What do you think the motivation is?
That's not deeply motivated. It's a function of confusion. Okay. I mean, what would you like me to say? How can I describe it?
I don't know what the motivation is, but if
I do.
someone is scorekeeping, they're usually trying to address something.
Well, right. Usually what they're trying to do is they're trying to get an outcome.
What's the ultimate goal that
Well,
Annie has with you?
I mean, for a long time, you know, she's needed me to be the bad guy because then that resolves the issue. Turns out I'm not. So then she needs it to be this incompatibility, which actually does exist, but the way that you're focusing on it, I think, fails to address the problem.
But what do you think the problem is?
Well,
Fails to address the
really,
problem.
Go ahead.
Okay. The problem is she doesn't like me that much. She wants to be in a different relationship. She doesn't want to be in this relationship. And that's, I think it's I think that's what you want. And I think it would be like you survived something and you got to somewhere else. And instead of being sort of like honest, I think you're trying to concoct this background and this conflict and these things, and you'd be way better off going, you know what? No, you're not a bad guy, and you're actually like a good guy. No problem. I want something else, and then then you can figure out how to make that happen.
I don't think, see, I thought that that's what I said. I said, I want out.
What do you think about what Annie's saying?
I mean, I think that she's gonna get what she wants. But
when you say, I want more life with you, I'm left wondering what that life looks like. If it looks like what it is, I don't want it.
We've run out of time.
Oh. We're out of time in every way. We can be better to each other. And I don't think you're a bad guy, and I don't think you're a bad husband. I think you're a great husband.
I'm the best.
You're the best husband. And I do love you. But you're right, I don't like you. I don't like how you treat me.
Okay.
So that's that.
That's that.
Okay.
Take care of each other.
Always.